Well, here we go. We're averaging about 2,000 a day. Give or take, it goes up and down. The curve looks like it's got a little tiny bend to it, and all the numbers just keep climbing. But yet, it's almost like everybody ignores it. I went to two cities, stopped off at a couple Walmarts. I noticed that it was a 50-50 deal. It looked like 50% of the people were wearing masks, other people weren't. I even seen people walking into Walmart. There was, I should have took my video camera. There was even two people, a husband and wife with two smaller kids that were like 6 years old walking into Walmart. And they didn't have masks at all. So they must be part of that crowd that believes, there's nothing wrong with this. Now, I did find some other information. I'll have the links in the bottom for you guys. But I did find this kind of interesting. There was a couple, and they're activists, and they're apparently catching it to save it from the World Health Organization. And these are them here, and they actually literally traveled to China, South Korea, Iran, and Italy before returning home in order to catch this and to help it survive. I mean, it's just, you don't even want to laugh about this stupidity, but I mean, you look at this stuff, and to see people actually doing this, you just really have to shake your head. There's always an activist or some nut job that wants to do something to keep something alive, I guess. This is pure ridiculous. Again, I'll have links at the bottom if you guys want to read this stuff. But even when you find stuff like this, I mean, this particular woman was licking her hands, and she was touching things around the shop for you to get it. And this was in South Carolina, and it's just unbelievable. She was arrested, but it's like I said before. I mean, when AIDS came to be, you had all these nut jobs doing things to make your life unhealthy. It's bad enough we got to try and keep this distancing and extra clean everything, and then you have these nut jobs that are running everywhere. Now, who's winning with this? And I found this. I'll give it a link to you guys if you want to check it out. But these are the countries that are doing the best with beating this. Okay? Winning is in green. Nearly there is orange. And need action in red. So we got a green, orange, and red. This makes it a lot easier for you guys to understand this. So we'll start coming down. And you notice these are the countries that are doing well. Australia's doing very well. And they seem to have it licked. Their lives and less death is going to be a whole lot better. And as we come down, these countries are nearly there. They're slowly getting their act together. Okay? And you can see them here, who they are. And like I said, I'll have the link in the bottom. You want to check this out. And then you can go research these countries and say, okay, what are these countries doing that we're not doing? And obviously, if they're social distancing and staying 6 feet apart, this actually works. And they're slowly getting it under control. Now, the countries that need to take action, these are the countries here that need to take action. And this is in alphabetical order. Looks like Canada needs some work. But these are the ones that are in trouble. The Philippines, Poland, Romania, Russia. U.S. So we're a long ways from this, and it's not going to come to an end. I have noticed there's a lot of propaganda going on. I have noticed that. And it's on both sides. And they've even now got people that are doctors, and they say they got 29 years of experience and say, there's nothing wrong. Go take this pill here and you'll be fine. It just blows my mind away how much propaganda is running across the internet, even for the United States. This graph here, okay, will tell you which countries have been tested the most worldwide. And you'll notice Spain is up at the top. And I believe, I can't remember, but I think Donald Trump, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Donald Trump said USA is #1 for testing for this thing. And if he did say that, he's a complete liar because we're way down here. Okay, Spain's actually first, Portugal, Belgium, Italy, Russia, Switzerland, Germany, Canada, then comes U.S. So we're not number one for testing. That's a complete lie. But again, I'll have these links in the bottom. You want to go check this stuff out and see it for yourself. But there we are. Our numbers are climbing. From my last video, it's been a little while. We should be on the edge right now for that thing basically blowing out of proportion. The economy's in extreme danger. You see videos everywhere of everybody saying we're into a depression. Things are going to be worse. The government is talking about another stimulus plan. I mean, they've had 2 or 3 conversations, or 2 or 3 of them. Nothing's been final yet, but they're obviously talking about one. A lot of people haven't received the other $1,200 for the stimulus checks. I haven't gotten mine, but who knows? Maybe 2 months from now. But a lot of people have gotten theirs, which really $1,200 isn't that much. I don't see any information yet on the people losing their houses now. You can go, I believe it's 6 months without paying a mortgage before the bank jumps all over you. So this is all turning into a big bubble is what's going on. And it's coming. I mean, I don't know the exact time length. I mean, it could be 3 months, could be 6 months. But we're going to see a good percentage, I mean 30% or more, of people basically losing their homes and going into rental units. And just because they've totally lost their jobs. Right now, a lot of people are living on unemployment, which is something like $600 a week or whatever they're getting. Okay, they've postponed what's going to happen. There's well over 30 million jobs that have closed. I've seen, just tons of department stores closing. Restaurants themselves closing, just completely closing down. Employees never going back to work. Now, I did notice when I was in a bigger city of 100,000 population, there was... the place was pretty much packed. You know how they said you had the 50% capacity and separate people? That didn't look like that when I was looking by the windows. I actually pulled off and actually sat there looking in the window. Me and my wife did, just to see what was going on. And they were and most people didn't have masks on. So it's scary. It really is scary. It's like some businesses know what they're doing, others don't. People are fed up with being in quarantine. They're going to believe anything you tell them. If somebody says it's bogus, hey, it must be. But we've got 82,000 people dead. So, some people even believe it's only in the U.S. I don't get that mentality. A lot of people will believe that, when they talk, it's bogus, right? So, it's only happening here in the USA. But it's worldwide. These red dots are worldwide. Okay, they're not just in the United States. Almost 300,000 so far are dead across the entire country. And so far, 4 million people have it. In the U.S., of course, we're number one with 1,300,000. But if we look at, how many people are recovering, and here's another thing I get about this, okay? There's a lot of propaganda going on. Like I'm noticing in Facebook, I'm seeing things like this particular actor died, and then they post of natural causes. Well, I've never seen that before. And then I've seen other things in Facebook where they said this particular actor died, and it was due to this. I even seen a post of a 35-year-old woman that died of natural causes. I didn't go back and research it. I really should have, but I just didn't have time that day. And I was like, well, how can a 35-year-old die of natural causes? I mean, if it's a drug overdose and you have a heart attack, you died of a drug overdose. I mean, what is natural causes of a 35-year-old, which I thought was kind of weird. But you're going to find the propaganda levels are going to rise. They're going to try and hide these deaths. And they're going to start saying they died of natural causes, or they're going to try and say they died of other things. It's just a whole bunch of jumbabaloo, basically, is what's going on. And this is really, really messed up on so many levels. It's like a lot of people would say, well, those numbers aren't true. I agree with you. They're not true. They're either a little bit less or they're a little bit more. But either way, people are dying. And it's gotten to the point now where it's bypassing the flu. And because everybody said it was like the flu, and it's not like the flu by no means whatsoever. These are just really stupid, uneducated people that compare this to the flu. I don't know why anybody would do that. But And what I find amazing is the entire world, countries like Canada, Switzerland, Denmark, I mean, Europe, you've got thousands and thousands of doctors on the front line that actually experience and see these people pass, and they see it real. And then all of a sudden, one doctor says, "Oh, it's all a bunch of crap. Not that many people are dying." And everybody gravitated toward that one doctor. And I was like, wow. Even when people try to warn people about what's happening, they ignore it. It's just amazing. And they use every extreme they can to say, hey, they're controlling us and you're being put in cages and all this. Hey, you do you, I'll do me. But myself personally, I do mask up, I do glove up if I do leave. I'm very, very careful not to touch my face. I'm very careful to do what I do, and even the times I go out. When we actually go out, if we do, we'll actually check the different cities. How many cases are there? There's one city we go to that only has 40 cases, cutting our odds of getting it. Yet you travel to another city, they've got over 700, which is less than 20 minutes away from the one we go to. Now, I'm sure that one's going to bleed over. But the thing is that we are very particular where we go. If I got to drive an extra hour to lessen my chances, which to me is common sense, that's what I do. I'm not just going to do something because it's convenient. And even when you are grocery shopping, I mean, you don't buy for convenience anymore. You don't even buy because of price. When you're actually in the grocery store and all of a sudden, you see some hamburger there, and if there is no limit, you buy 20. And then when you go to the next store, oh, they don't have any hamburger. But they have a limit. And you're like scratching your head. Every grocery store you go to has different rules and what you actually do. Now, what's really weird is you want to be in and out of the store as quickly as possible. And I find that the grocery stores have one-way lanes and nobody's obeying it, but I guess it's an honor system deal. I tried to obey it the best I could. But what I found was I'd go down an aisle and say, oh, geez, I forgot something over there. So then I'd have to go down another aisle to get to that aisle. I mean, it was literally keeping me in the store longer, which I found was quite strange. But that was quite amazing. And the people that actually wore masks, I actually stood off to the side and paid attention. I would say 90% have no clue what they're doing. I must have seen tons of people trying to readjust their mask, and you're not supposed to touch your face at all once you get all suited up. And I even seen some pull their mask out and put their hand underneath their mask and, itch their nose or whatever. And I was like, are you kidding me? I've seen a lot of people with their mask down, not even on their nose. I mean, I guess it just is a false security and makes them believe it is doing something. And that's really crazy. But the majority have no idea how to wear a mask. They don't have any idea how to take off a mask. And they don't have any idea what they're doing. So, waiting for this to balloon. And I'm waiting to see what happens next. And the sad truth is coming. I told you before, this is all going to go up and go crazy. And we're not seeing it yet. But we will be soon. So anyhow, I'll have the links at the bottom if you want to check out those other stories I found. And I hope you're being safe. And I'll catch you on the next one.